Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mariana Hernandez. I'm the Assistant Program Manager of Workforce Development at LA County's Economic Development Corporation. Thank you all for joining us today for Warner Brothers Access to Action program. This will be an informational session. We have representatives from Warner Brothers here to speak and share information with you all. So again, thank you for joining. As you're coming in, please go ahead and mute yourself. We will have a portion towards the end of the presentation where you will have an opportunity to unmute and ask any questions then. Again, my name is Mariana Hernandez. I am joined by Jose Pelayo. If you'd like to say hi, Jose.
Yeah, thank you so much for everyone for joining in. As Mariana mentioned, please take the time to ask any questions in the chat. And please mute yourself while these speakers are presenting, but take the time as well if you have the ability to go on camera so you can engage. And thank you so much for attending.
Thank you, Jose. And we form a part of a team of 3 with our senior director being Jermaine Hampton, who's not on the call today, at LA County's Economic Development Corporation. So again, thank you all for being here. These types of webinars are brought about through a partnership that we have with the community colleges. The LA19 is leading an industry education partnership to strengthen our region's talent development ecosystem. And so that's why we're here today to share these types of opportunities with you that you may or may not already know about. If you'd like to learn more about these types of webinars and all of the work we've done in the past, you can visit the site on your screen, www.competitiveworkforce.la. We will also be sharing a link to the recording after this, so you'll have access to that link as well. At the end, after the presentation, we'll go ahead and have a feedback poll. So we just ask that you all take a moment to answer those questions. It's only a 3-question survey. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and pass it over to the representatives and our co-hosts today. Again, thank you, Ava and Stevie, for sharing this wonderful opportunity with everyone here today. You have the floor.
Thanks, Mariana. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for having us. My name is Ava Golton Cruz. I think Stevie Rain and I will start with just very brief overviews about ourselves, and then we can jump into what Warner Bros. Discovery Action is. But first, just what we do at Warner Bros. Discovery from a social impact standpoint, and then Stevie will also give an overview of Novak. So my name again is Ava. I work at Warner Brothers Discovery in social impact, or what some companies call corporate social responsibility. I'm originally from Washington, D.C. I went to Spelman College for undergrad. I live in View Park, Los Angeles, and I've been with the company for 6 years. So I started at HBO in social impact years ago. Then we became Warner Media, and most recently we are Warner Bros. Discovery. So our team supports all of the brands that live underneath Warner Brothers Discovery. And Stevie Rain, I'll pass it to you to do a quick intro.
Thank you. Thanks, Ava. Hi, everyone. I am Stevie Rain Warren. I'm the workforce director at Novak, which is New Orleans Video Access Center. And through my work at Novak, I act as a consultant for the Warner Bros. Discovery Action Program. I'm based here in Louisiana, and I've been working with WBD in some capacity for about 6 or 7 years. I've been at Novak for 8 years. I have a background in production, in art department, and production office work. And I'm happy to be here.
Thanks, Stevie. Okay, so just quickly, let's start with an overview of social impact, what we do as an entire organization at Warner Bros. Discovery. So one of the first pillars is which is a huge focus of ours, and honestly, just across all industries, is sustainability. And I encourage all of you guys in some capacity to take a course or some sort of training, or just expand your knowledge on the term ESG, environmental social governance. This is something that is going to be a priority in every single industry. It already is, from all the way up to the boardrooms to how people choose what companies to invest in. There's a responsibility now for corporations to be sustainable and environmentally aware. So this is a huge priority for our team. from how we run our offices to how we run our productions. If you think of a production, we are creating worlds with lumber. We need props. We need set. We need costume. These are all items that need to be repurposed or purchased or recycled. So it's a constant giving and take. And we are making sure that we are tracking and doing our part to reuse, repurpose resources, but also make sure that we're tracking our carbon footprint with what kind of lighting we use, how we're recycling, composting. It's truly an entire ecosystem on production sets. So this is a major, major company-wide priority for us, and we are tracking at every single level. And there are even production assistants on production sets whose sole job is to track how green our sets are. So I wanted to just make sure that you guys are aware that this is a priority for a lot of companies. And if you watch HBO shows, you'll actually see at the bottom of the credits, there's a green logo that says HBO Green. I had the pleasure of being on the small team that launched that initiative. HBO Green is now a company-wide initiative that the head of production for Warner Brothers Discovery has made a mandate on all production. So that's Warner Bros. Pictures, television, and HBO and HBO Max. So we're really, really proud of that. And that came out of our small but mighty social impact team. Social impact solutions is another vertical of ours. So pretty much we want to make sure that we have a social good component to our storytelling. We want to make sure that we are providing proper tools for communication when we are providing our viewers with topical content. So for example, for any of you who are fans of Euphoria, it's a pretty complicated show that deals with a lot of complicated issues. So one, for example, being substance abuse. So we want to make sure that on our back channels, we're providing our viewers with resources to help deal with substance abuse or learn about substance abuse. Essentially, we want to drive responsible conversations around our programming so that it can go beyond just the entertainment value. Here are some campaigns that our team has been a part of for our programming. So we will partner with talent from our shows, we'll partner with the productions or the creative teams, and bring in nonprofit organizations or really controlled conversations around our content. Or we'll partner with different universities or community colleges to really bring that content to life and help drive the marketing in a more impactful community-based way. Creative and production impact is where I live and where Stevie partners with us from Novak. So we are the team that kind of intersects between the creative and production and the impact side. So we are sponsoring identity-based film festivals like American Black Film Festival or Outfest LGBTQ Film Festival or Indian Film Festival of Los Angeles, the NALEAP Summit in Los Angeles. We partner with different nonprofits that are focused on training and educating folks on production and below the line opportunities. And in this vertical, this is where you will find Warner Bros. Discovery Action, and that's what I will expound upon later in this presentation. Lastly, you have your standard contributions and employee impact as part of social impact WBD, and that's your standard. We're going to donate to galas, nonprofit organizations, fundraising events, any opportunities that make sense for the company or where we have talent being honored or heavily involved, or maybe they sit on the board of an organization. We want to make sure that we're supporting those because they're part of the Warner Bros. Discovery family. This area also includes employee engagement, so opportunities for our employees to volunteer, any disaster relief, crisis response, so major earthquakes, tornadoes. We want to make sure we're banding together as a company and providing any financial resources or resources in general that make sense for that, to provide relief. So I will leave it there for a general overview, and then let's jump into the access program. 1 minute while I just pull that up. So I'm going to start with our website, which I encourage all of you guys to visit after this call. Honestly, if you just Google Warner Bros. Discovery Action, our website will pop up. So no need to remember the URL if you can't. So our website gives a brief overview of the program, but essentially what Warner Brothers Discovery Action does is provides individuals who don't traditionally have access to below the line jobs. And we at Warner Bros. Discovery provide them with those opportunities on our productions. So this program is fostering a workforce that really aligns with our commitment to the communities in which we're filming. So if we're in Atlanta, Georgia, we want to make sure we're partnering with really great organizations in Atlanta that are already helping to train and foster strong production professionals. We are also developing WBD Action Labs, so a skills preparedness program, so that we can continue to help educate and train folks as they develop in their careers in production. So just some quick stats for you guys. In 2022, we placed 105 candidates on 36 productions in 9 cities. To date, in 2023, we've placed 28 candidates on 14 productions in 4 cities. So this is a domestic program. We do have a program that's also in Canada, but it's run by a different team. So our focus is just in the United States as of right now. Since launch, and the program launched in 2017, we've placed over 600 candidates on 200 productions in 30 cities across the country. And here are some of the shows that we were on in 2022. So I'm sure some of them will ring a bell. And the cool thing about the shows we get to work on is you may see a couple in here and you say, those shows weren't on HBO, or those shows weren't on HBO Max. So we have a giant studio in Burbank. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, the Warner Brothers lot. So we get shows for production from all different platforms. I mean, Riverdale is a show that we produce, even though it's on Netflix. Apple has a lot of shows too that we produce. So we have the pleasure of providing opportunities for production assistance on shows that aren't even our own, but because they're productions of ours, we still get to do that amazing work on really cool titles. So this is, again, just a list of shows from 2022. Another track of ours, aside from just being a production assistant, is the IATSE partnership track. So essentially, this is, instead of a production assistant program, this is an intern training program. This is a pathway specifically for people who are interested in joining a union. So you are on a one-track mind, you know that you want to be a grip, or you know you want to be camera, or you know you want to be in set lighting. So you are only focused, and your goal is only to work in those departments when you're on productions. And there's a trajectory for that where you do 60 days and then 30 days. And that's something that we certainly lay out in more detail, but it's just a more, you're very honed in on that specific track. Whereas if you're a PA, you may do costume, through the duration of one production, then you may move into camera, you may do set lighting. There's just a breadth of different areas that you could do. This is a very specific pathway, and the goal is ultimately to join a union. Here are some of our community partners from 2022. So these are the cities that they are in. So just to name a few, HBCU in LA, Brooklyn Community College, Real Works in New York, Digital Dub, Ghetto Film School, Hollywood CPR. These are a lot of major organizations in LA that we have strong partnerships with. So if you guys are ever interested in having more training or experience in production, I highly encourage you to look into some of these organizations right here in our backyard. Again, Ghetto Film School, Hollywood CPR, Digital Dub, Manifest Works, just to name a few. And then a lot of your schools, I'm sure, provide educational programs as well in production. And I haven't had a chance to look at the chat, so there's a chance many of you are already in those programs. Okay, that's our website. Now I will just take you quickly to it's a brief deck. I've abbreviated it for the purpose of this meeting. But again, the program that we're focusing on this call is Warner Bros. Discovery Action. The vision for the program is essentially, as a company, we are trying to curate the most creative stories possible. And within those stories, we want to make sure that the talent above and below the line is inclusive and representative of those stories that we're telling. So the mission of this program is to foster inclusive below the line production workforces across all of our productions in film and television. Our objectives are to serve as internal resources for all of our executives across production and post-production. We want to be on all of those calls once we know productions are revving up, so that they know that we're here to help provide them with interns and PAs whenever they need. And the reason why our productions are so keen on supporting this program is because there are a lot of, well, first of all, because it's a responsibility of companies across industries. We should be doing our part to make sure that we're providing opportunities for all people, all communities, so that we can be as diverse and well represented as possible. Secondly, and what I love about the film industry is that we are now incentivized to have programs like this. So when we partner with nonprofit organizations and we provide opportunities for these PAs and interns to come and work on our sets are just, they run better, they're more successful because we are bringing in this talent, but also we receive tax incentives from the film commissions because we are working with local nonprofits and communities to help bring this workforce to our production. So there are benefits to it. So we're helping to contribute to the bottom line for our productions. Another objective is we are creating training programs. So we're creating training resources for below the line jobs for our executives. And lastly, we just want to be a leader in inclusion in the entertainment industry. We want Warner Brothers Discovery to be mentioned in any room that's talking about inclusion. So, and when it comes to a program like this, we were the first to do it. We were the first to have a PA training program. So we're very proud of that. And we are always in the room to talk about it when other companies are starting to do this great work as well. And we all support each other in this. It's not a competition. We are always sharing our resources with each other because this is such an important focus for all productions across the industry. Okay, our partners. I'm going to now pass this over to Stevie Rain. Stevie, again, is at Novak, and the work that we do at WBD Action could not be done without Novak. Their name and their organization is known across our company. Stevie Rain is specifically known across our company and across the industry. If you talk to probably any production at any streaming platform or network, they know who Stevie Rain is, and she's just a wealth of knowledge when it comes to production. So I mean, there's just no WBD Action without Stevie, Rain, Warren, or Novak. So I'm going to pass it to Stevie just to give a bit or a lot of a breakdown of what Novak does and also what she does for the program.
Ava, you are too kind. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for the presentation earlier. So I learned some new things always. When I'm listening to you, I'm always learning something new. So thank you for that. As Ava mentioned, I work at Novak, New Orleans Video Access Center. And we are a filmmaking resource nonprofit, again, based here in Louisiana. We have many services, but our three main pillars of service are youth digital media, creative services for independent filmmakers, and then we have a workforce development program, which is where my programming and work primarily lives. So through Novak, I manage any like studio production company related program partnerships or initiatives, which Warner Bros. Discovery's Action Program is our flagship partnership. We've been working with them, like I said, since about 2016. And this program got its footing in New Orleans initially. There was a Cinemax series that filmed here. That's how you know it was a while ago. And we got connected to HBO and their social responsibility team. They wanted to essentially marry, workforce development and then the work that they were already doing on the social responsibility side, and figure out a way to not only give back to communities in a philanthropic way, but also how to connect individuals to work opportunities. So they're not, especially for these, what they refer to as below the line jobs, so these physical production jobs, making sure that cities or productions aren't outsourcing outside of their city. So that was always kind of the through line with the program, is that it's community driven, and we're helping people get opportunity to jobs in their city, and again in physical production work. So through Novak and with the Warner Bros. Discovery team, I essentially act as a liaison between all of the different productions in all of the different states and cities, and then individuals who are in our candidate pool. So our candidate pool, you can become a member of our candidate pool by a few different steps. One, if you go back to our the website where you see a list of all of the organizations that we pull candidates from, essentially you have to be referred by one of those partner organizations during our recruitment cycle. And then you would apply through our online application process. And then we have an internal training where we go over all of the basics of like what being a PA is. We talk about production culture and how it's different from a lot of other work environments and different industries. And then we talk deeply about sustainability. We talk about a lot of, what Ava was speaking about earlier, but in more detail. And then after the training, we do conduct preliminary interviews, just to get a feel for people at an individual level, and then also just to make sure that this is something that they want to do. We've had PA trainings before, and people have come and they say, "Oh, actually, I think I want to work in development," or actually, I actually want to be a writer. So if they want to do that, then that's not maybe this particular program that's for physical production is maybe not for them. So we do have those preliminary interviews before we start to send you for different job opportunities. So once you've been referred by a partner org, gone through our training, and then completed an interview with us, you then qualify for the candidate pool in the city that you live in. So all of you're LA based. So if you went through all of those steps, and then you're in the candidate pool, what will happen then is I will start to reach out to candidates directly when opportunities arise. So we don't have any control of production schedules or anything like that, but we are able to get kind of preliminary schedules, and we know, what productions will be coming to LA at what time period, and we'll reach out to you, and we try to align your interests with the needs of the production. So if you in the training, if you tell me I'm really interested in the art department, I think I want to be, a set deck buyer or something like that, we then will take that information, and if a production reaches out to us and they specifically want to hire a art department PA, a set deck PA or intern, I'll then let you know about that opportunity. And then another thing to keep in mind is that this program is not a it's not a mandated program, and it's not a must-hire program. We refer you to productions for positions they would have already been hiring for. You're in their candidate pool. You go through their interview process, their onboarding process, and we do that for a number of reasons. But it really is the best situation for all involved. It's the best situation for the candidates because you are able to go through the interview process. So even if I've seen it a 100 times, somebody may interview for Euphoria, they didn't get it, the particular position, but they were able to build a relationship with someone, they liked them, and then maybe the supervisor moved on to another show afterwards, and then they called that person back and they were able to give them, an opportunity on another show. So that's one thing. And then also too, we want the productions to have the agency to choose who they want to hire so that there's no tension or animosity about, who's on their team, that they were able to interview these individuals and make an informed decision themselves. And from there, if you get hired on the production, you're an employee of the production as anyone else. You're on the call sheet, as a PA, you get paid the production assistant rate. And outside of having myself and Ava and the rest of the social impact team in your corner, like if you have any questions or you run into any roadblocks, you report to your supervisor on the production. There's no special requirements or, I know some programs require participants to journal and send all of these different things, but we know you're working 12, 13-hour days, so we don't require any additional things. I do check in periodically to make sure that, everything is going smoothly and that you're having a good experience on the production, because this program does, for the most part, recruit individuals for entry-level positions. And when you're in an entry-level position, you're learning on the job. There's only so much that we can even teach in our production assistant training that, you can retain. There's so much that you won't learn until you're there and you're on set and you're in the environment. So we want to make sure that the experience that you're having is one that is welcoming and a safe environment for you to learn because you are in an entry-level position. And then as far as the IA program, the IIT program that we have, that process is a little bit different. We are a little bit closer to that process, and the check-ins are a little bit more repetitive because it is a program that does set people up to join that respective union. But the recruitment process is pretty much the same, where we contact our partners and they refer candidates. They have to go through a training with us and they have to go through an interview with us. So it is the same recruitment process. I saw a few people came from our Santa Monica College and Long Beach Community College. We've actually recruited folks from both of those schools before in the past. So glad to see, there's a lot of engagement there already. And I'm trying to think. I think that's about the rundown of the program and kind of our process and how to qualify. Ava, is there anything maybe you want to add or that I missed?
No, I think you covered it. I think, again, this program provides no special treatment, and there's no extracurricular component to it. Yeah. We are simply just providing another gateway for people to gain access to production. And again, people who may not have an uncle who already works at a studio or
right.
aunt who's an executive at that company. So this is just a way and an opportunity to get people through the door.
Yeah, we try to be a resource for both ends, for the productions who, it's a very relationship-driven industry. And by nature, people like to work with people they've worked with before, work well with before. So a lot of supervisors, they just refer back to their crew list from the production that they worked on last, or, their contacts. And that's fine, but it does create a barrier for people who aren't connected. So we try to alleviate that barrier for community members who want to join who want to join the industry and have the aptitude, and they've gotten training and they have the interest, and try to be that connecting point for people who want to work in physical production.
And lastly, and then we'll open it up to questions. And Stevie, not to put you on the spot, but I'd love if we could maybe share some success metrics. So folks who have started out as PAs or interns, where are they now? I know recently we've had someone who started as a PA and now they're in a writer's room.
Sure, yeah.
But are there any others that come to mind that you could highlight? And again, I'm sorry if I'm putting you on the spot. It's okay if you can't.
No, it's okay. Kenzie Young, who was one of our PAs for Insecure season 2, she started off as a set PA, and then she was able to join as the writer's room PA, and then she became, I think, the script coordinator. She joined the WGA, and then she actually became a staff writer for Insecure. She was a staff writer for a Black Lady sketch show. She was, I think, story editor for the NBC show Grand Crew. We've had individuals start off as PAs, and because we connect or we work heavily with the physical production executives, they'll actually come to us and ask, are there any individuals who maybe want to work on a studio level that we can tap into from your candidate pool? So we've had several people actually obtain jobs at a studio level as coordinators and as production assistants. One of our camera interns started off as an intern, became a digital utility, and he's done some loading work for like Snowfall, and one of the other, he worked on Barry as well for HBO. Yeah, we've had, and another one of our PAs who actually, he worked on All American, his name is Devon, he works on All American, Tacoma FD, and one other show, I can't remember it right now, but he ended up becoming a COVID compliance executive for Disney. So he had gotten an executive position. I don't think that division is still with the company or not, but yeah, we've seen people in a matter of 2 or 3 years have a lot of upward mobility, and they just really needed that door to open up for them, and we're always so thankful to be able to have a program to support people in that way if they're trying to just get a foot in the door.
Yeah, thanks, Stevie. And I like to emphasize those people who have gone above and beyond in their careers were doing just that when they were PAs. They were hustling, they were working long hours, they were completely immersed in the culture of production and gave it their all and networked and made a lot of those valuable connections and relationships. So I think we'll stop there and open the floor to any questions that you guys have.
Again, thank you so much, Ava and Stevie, for sharing so much useful information with all of us. We really do appreciate both of you sharing and being here, and just your time commitment to these opportunities. So thank you both. JB, I know you've had your hand up. You can go ahead.
Yeah, yes, I'm sorry. Good afternoon, everybody. First, on behalf of the Los Angeles Regional Consortium, which is the collaboration of all 19 colleges in Los Angeles area, thank you, Eva. Thank you, Stevie, for this wonderful information. And thank you, LAEDC team, Mariana and Jose, for always bringing our community colleges and the students all this valuable information. I saw the question pop up. I think the next step for the students, they would like to know how to apply, where to apply, if there is a specific way for the application process that we can, present to them. And thank you again.
Thank you. Yeah, so that piece is a little bit more complex because we work through our partner organizations and partner community colleges. So individuals cannot apply directly for the program. A representative from that organization or school sends us a very small handful of recommendations of who they think would be a good fit for the program. and those individuals are invited to attend our training. Stevie, did I leave anything out?
Yeah, that's correct. And we also, based off of, and we started to do recruitment cycles versus just accepting people kind of on a rolling basis, which is what we used to do when the program first started. And at that time, we were maybe working with 15 shows a year. It was sustainable to be able to do that. But once the program started to expand and we were working with productions in several different cities, we decided to start recruiting in cycles and by territories. So always we know LA, New York, Atlanta, and New Orleans are kind of like the major production hubs. And from there, we try to recruit or have, I guess I would say, cohorts of people from various different demographics. So we recruit candidates from organizations that serve veterans or organizations that serve individuals who are formerly incarcerated. And then we tap into our community college partners as well, so that when we have a group of candidates, we are bringing people from several different backgrounds. And then we have a cap on how many candidates we recruit and train by cycle. So because we have a cap, we only can take, a very small group from our partners by cycle. And we do that so we're not over indexing. We're not like, let's say we train 100 people, but we don't have enough jobs, to be able to refer them for, and they're just sitting in the candidate pool for over a year. Like, our goal really is to get everybody that goes through our program, if not, definitely a job, we at least want to be able to refer them for opportunities and get them connected so that they're able to build relationships. So if you go to Santa Monica College, we'll likely be recruiting for them our next cycle. Long Beach Community College probably won't be until our next cycle, which will be next year. But I would say whoever your point of contact is that got you on this call, like letting them know that you're interested in being referred for when we are recruiting again, that's probably your best step, because our application isn't like an open one. You do have to be recommended by one of our partners during our training cycle, if that makes sense.
Thank you, Stevie and Ava. So I think offline I can connect with you both and see if you guys have a point of contact at, for example, SMC and Long Beach, so that I can connect with them and be able to share that information with everyone on the call. So thank you for that. The next question we have.
Well, Mariana, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but real quick, I would like to be included in this conversation because we can do this as a regional effort, so other community colleges can tap into the program. But that's a conversation Stevie and Ava and Mariana we can have another time. I don't want the other students from other colleges to feel that, they're being excluded. We will work on a regional effort to make everybody who is interested,
And that's
be
why
able
we're
to
here.
do
That's
that.
why we're here, because we want all schools to be represented. We want you guys to be aware of this program. An emphasis though on you should already have some sort of exposure to, you should be enrolled in some sort of course or training program around production. It's not just like a cold blind, oh, you want to do production today, come join this program. The person referring you at your school, they should be a professor or a teacher there, or head of a department that's very focused on what we do for Warner Brothers Discovery Action. And if not, you should look into external nonprofit organizations that offer these trainings and educational programs for free. Some that were listed on our website.
Would it be safe, Eva, to say we might have a follow-up to this meeting?
I would love that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Marianne.
No worries. Yeah, so we'll have that conversation offline so we can get a point of contact for everyone on the call. So thank you for sharing that. Juliana, if you'd like to unmute.
Hi, I'm Victor speaking from Juliana. I have two questions here from a student and from myself. First are any of those opportunities available for international students?
Depending on where you guys are located, we do have an international team. Our productions are a lot more limited and there are some stipulations that come with it, but we do a lot of filming in the UK and it really just depends on what our production slate is. So yes, there are international opportunities, but there aren't as many and there's a little bit more red tape involved.
Okay, thank you. Well, next question with the student.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Luis Minya. I'm a basic student here at LACC, but I'm also a professional working actor. I know that Stevie mentioned that there is an acting program as well. I'd like to find out about the link for that program.
I think I heard you correctly. You're asking about an acting program.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier in the info session about an acting program that you sponsor as well. So can I get a little bit more information or a link, a website link?
I may, if I said that, I misspoke. We don't facilitate an acting program. The diversity, equity, inclusion team might have something, Ava. But yeah, this particular program we only work with below the line, behind the camera opportunities.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm pulling up the programs now for the our diversity and inclusion team. I know there's several for directors, writers, and producers. I don't see any though for acting, and I'm actually going to drop this link in the chat for you guys. This is our D&I team. They have a lot of other programs that you guys should really look into. So here's their website. That's WBD Access. And they actually do provide a lot of registration links on their website. So I encourage you guys to all explore that page. If you go down, you'll see where it says programs, just dive right in. I don't think that there's one for acting though, unfortunately, but I know that there are other companies out here who do have that. And honestly, I would just encourage you guys to search all of the major networks for programs like this in production, writing, directing. They all have a plethora of these types of programs. So please explore that at Netflix, Amazon, Paramount, Apple, Hulu,
NBC,
Disney.
yeah,
They're all doing it.
fellowship.
They're all doing this. Like, we are not competing against each other. We want you guys to know about all of them.
Okay, on the behalf of LACC, we thank you very much for answering our questions.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you both. And we'll move over to Joseph.
Hello. How's
Hi.
everyone doing? So I have a couple questions. The first one is about, like, if you wanted to get a writing position with the current strike, WGA strike, how's that going to affect people who want to get into writing right now? Will they be considered a scab by the guild and then blacklisted from Hollywood?
You know, I don't want to speak to that too specifically because I don't have the specific answer for that. All I can say though is that there's definitely a pause right now. There's definitely a pause on staffing and projects. So anything that was in process, any rooms that were open are not open right now. So in general, above and below the line, we're at a standstill.
Thank you,
Okay.
Ava, and thank you, Joseph. So
I
if
just
you
have
any
one more quick question, if that's okay.
Sure, if it's
re-
regarding the program, feel free to ask, but
It's
things outside
regarding
of that.
the college, like, who would I talk to at my college to recommend me for a position?
So do you have a focus at your school, or are you taking any current courses in production or in entertainment?
I've majored, I already have a degree, and I'm back at community college. I have a degree, bachelor's degree in entertainment marketing.
Okay, I would check then with whoever is the head of that department, and find out if there is a course that's on production or some sort of training, or even if it's not a full-time course.
But
And
I
whoever-
went to university, I went to Woodbury University to get my degree after going to GCC, and now I'm back at GCC,
Okay.
working on something else, working on accounting classes.
Okay, yeah, and we don't partner with a lot of universities. We really like to focus on the community colleges in Los Angeles. So the degree probably wouldn't. You could apply to positions in marketing at the company if you'd like to.
Mhm.
In marketing,
Yeah, but it's not really accessible to me, as you were saying. I don't have an aunt or uncle who's a studio executive, and I thought that this program was gonna, show us ways to get into the industry when we otherwise wouldn't have that.
Yes, absolutely. So this program, again, the way that we run it is we rely on the schools and someone at the administrative level to provide those recommendations. So students who are really standing out or showing a passionate interest in those areas, if you have a teacher from your school who wants to refer you, or if you want to just send your resume and for something specific, I'd be happy to even look at it. I think
That would be
specifically on
awesome if you could drop your email address in the chat. I can
I probably will drop it in the chat, but I should emphasize though, for you specifically, your background would not be, I wouldn't submit that to production because you wouldn't have any production background. But if you're interested
I
in
have
marketing-
taken many production
Okay, I'm
classes.
sorry. I don't need-
Joseph,
I
sorry to
have
respect
Go
everybody's
ahead, Joseph.
time. We're gonna move on to the next question. If you have further questions, you can follow up with Mariana. You can submit your resume with her, but to respect everyone else, Julio, I think you had your hand raised.
Yes, it was around a similar question. So I'm currently at SMC in film production. So would I go talk to a professor that has a connection with the program, or how would I find out who has a connection to the program?
Yeah, please let your professor know that you attended this course and share the website, our WBD Action website, with your professor. And I would recommend, if you could, your professor can either get in touch with us through our email or through maybe Mariana, who can then connect us. But if you are in a course like that, then there's someone who could refer you to this program.
Yeah, and
Cool.
also if you do not see your school on our partner list on the website, look into some of these organizations. They, for the most part, they all offer either membership-based engagement or training opportunities that could then qualify you for recommendation when our recruitment cycle happens. And then also too, I wanted to quickly just go back to Victor, because there also is a production accounting pathway that we work with the HBO team with. It's not active right now, but I'm not sure if he's specifically interested in production accounting, but that could also be an option for him as well, since he said he's in a accounting program.
Well, thank you. And then I guess I have second question. When is the second window or the next window gonna open up?
It probably won't be until early next year.
Thank you.
Right, Ava? Like January, February next year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Julio. We'll go ahead and move forward with Sharif.
Hi, thank you so much for pronouncing my name correctly, first off. Well, first off, thank you guys for creating this space for people from different type of backgrounds, things of nature to come forward and get a below-the-line job. That's really great. I'll be remiss if I didn't mention just a little bit of info about the strike. I'm from Santa Monica College to the Promo Pathways program. Sorry if I'm talking a mile a minute here, but trying to respect everyone's time. So we actually interviewed the strikers for a project, and I just would like to say, if you guys are really interested in a job when it comes to writing, go out there, meet them, speak to them, strike with them. It's a very valuable thing to go and like show your face at the very least. Okay, I'll shut up about the strike, but being from SMC as well, there was a student right before me from SMC. I have the director of our program, Redelia Shaw. I know that she gets these emails all the time. She's probably one of the type of people that would be able to recommend people out. And she's at the Center for Media and Design campus. It's a separate campus at SMC. just throwing it out there, not to gatekeep information. And final question, just real quick, when it comes to pathways possibly for marketing, are there anything of that nature, social media marketing, things of this nature, promo work? I was just wondering if there's any like specific pathways for that, not necessarily behind the camera, but editing, writing, producing, things of that nature.
The only pathway that I'm aware of offhand is our standard internship program. So summer, spring, fall internships.
And so this particular program, the opportunities that we recommend people for, they aren't going to be on job boards, but the opportunities that Ava just mentioned, the general internships, are typically on the Warner Bros. Discovery job board. It's an open application for those type of opportunities.
Just if you go
Gotcha.
to Warner Bros. Discovery, summer internships, fall internships, marketing, you'll see
Gotcha.
what's available.
I'm subscribed to a few of those. I'm just waiting for the word, but I really appreciate it. Someone in the chat. I guess people are having a hard time raising their hand. Maybe if I
Thank you,
lower
Sharif.
my hand, people will be able to. Thank you
No,
guys
no
so much for
worries.
your time.
Thank you, Sharif. We'll move
you,
on
Sharif.
to Rayhana, I believe, if I'm pronouncing correctly. You feel free to unmute, and then we'll address the questions on the chat shortly.
I was wondering, how do I apply online? Because I got an email from my school about this information. So I wanted to know, how would I become admitted into this?
Yeah, great question, Rayhan. I think they've already answered that, but just to recap, if I'm correct, there is a few community colleges that already partner up. And then for that, you would go to the head of the department. But if there is not a college that is represented on the partnership list, JB, who represents the 19 community colleges, will work cohesively with our partners to address a point of contact, and we will follow up with each and every college.
Is Glendale, are you in partnership with that college, Glendale CC?
I think for now, they only have Long Beach and Santa Monica College, but we're working on figuring out who would be the point of contact. So we will address that.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jose. And we have Samuel next.
Hi. You can hear me?
Yes.
I have a question. It's because I already graduated from college and university, and I'm from Imperial, and I just want to know, what about if we already graduated from school? Do we need to go back to look for the application that you guys are offering?
That's a really great question, Samuel. Thank you for asking that. And it touches on a couple things that I don't think we addressed, which is we are recommending people for full-time production jobs. So our ideal candidate is actually someone like yourself who has completed school and does not have a lot of conflicts during the works, like, because in production they don't film in sequence of the script. Your call times are at all different times. You're working long hours, so it's not really a program that's feasible for somebody who is actively in a program. So typically when we do reach out to a Santa Monica college or a Long Beach community college, we'll actually ask them for recent graduates or folks who are graduating seniors, or they're about to finish their certification program. So you would not have to re-matriculate into a program to qualify for the program. If you completed your degree or certification from a partner program, you can qualify. So yeah, if any of you are still in school and you have a good amount of time left, you actually would have to or need to wait, until you are closer to completing school, because yeah, it's not really a program that's feasible for people who have full schedules or a lot of conflicts.
Thank you, Stevie. Thank you, Samuel, for the questions. Quick question. is there a way to track the cycles in which you are going to have open applications for your partnerships?
Typically, we do it twice a year. So our 2 internal trainings are typically in January and in June. So we recruit, I would say, about 3 months out from that. There have been mergers, and as we talked about, strikes and all of those things, so that can affect our training cycle sometimes. But the typical recruitment cycles are at the beginning and middle of the year. It's not really a way to officially kind of like track that outside of we'll contact our partners well in advance, like 3 months before we're even about to do the training. So if you're connected to someone or a program that is a partner, they'll be able to let you know when they are looking for recommendations, but it's typically twice a year.
Thank you, Stevie. I know we're coming up on time, so we'll go ahead and take maybe the last question. Jocelyn?
Oh, hi. Yes. I just had a question. Will we receive an email when there's an update on the point of contact for Long Beach City College, or like how will we be updated about that?
Yeah, so I have everyone's email when you registered, so we'll follow up with information. Later on this week, you'll receive a link with the recording. So you'll have that for now, and then once we work out the point of contacts at the community colleges, we'll go ahead and email you guys again.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Chris, we'll go ahead and take your question.
Yes. I'm not currently enrolled in any college right now, but my girlfriend sent me the flyer to do this because I saw it was like a video production and stuff. Are these resources only for people in college?
So Stevie had answered earlier a similar question with some opportunities being for those who are currently enrolled and others that are for graduates. Is that correct, Stevie?
Sorry. Yes, that is correct. But also too, if you're not enrolled in school or you don't plan to be enrolled in a community college, the website does list our partner orgs, our nonprofits that we also recruit from. So you can get involved in one of them if that's something that's available to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Stevie. And Cynthia, that'll be the last question. Cynthia, I see you. You're unmuted, but we don't hear anything.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't think your microphone is working, Cynthia, and to respect everyone's time, especially the speakers, I think we should end the presentation. We thank everybody for attending. We will follow up with a recording as well as further information. But again, if you do have questions, feel free to email Mariana or myself, and we will follow up. Once again, thank you so much, specifically to our partner speakers and Lark specifically, and for you guys attending. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Ava.
you.
Thank you, Stevie.
Thanks for
Thank you.
having us.
Thank you.
Mariana,